Oh man, it's finally time. Ravens flock, what's going on with you guys? Hope you're enjoying your day. The journey has begun. First game of the 2021 NFL season for the Ravens, and it's starting off on prime time. Monday Night Football in Las Vegas against the Raiders. It's gonna be epic. Before we get into the preview, I have to say this. Ravens flock, I know we've been down the last couple of days. This has been one of the toughest preseasons we've gone through, as well as one of the toughest training camps we've gone through in quite some time. It's been nothing but injuries, nothing but frustration, so many players in and out of practice, and the worst case scenario happened. Multiple people suffering season-ending injuries before the season started. LJ Fort, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Gus Edwards, Marcus Peters. All 5 of these players will be missed, and it's unfortunate that we've lost them. But you know what? In Baltimore, it's about the next man up. I know it's tough right now. I know the energy's down. We're still excited for the season, but the energy is definitely down with a lot of fans because of these injuries. And our Super Bowl chances aren't looking great because of those injuries. But never forget, the Ravens were built on adversity. This season is no different than any other season. We love when we're underrated. We love when people overlook the Ravens. We love the adversity because it forces this team to come together as a unit and fight for one cause, to win a championship. The journey begins once again, and this time we're facing even more adversity than was expected to be put onto us starting this season. But as long as we have number 8 as our quarterback, we're going to be fine. Yeah, it's going to take some time to adjust, and we're going to need some players to step up and do some things. But the Ravens are used to this. They're built for this. They're going to be ready. They will not let these injuries define the season. They're going to come out and they're going to fight, and they're going to play together as a unit, and they're going to win games, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get themselves in the position to be able to compete for a championship. So raise up, guys. Raise up. Do not be depressed. We feel for those guys. But they're going to be fine. We'll see them next season. Put your faith and your belief and your hopes on the unit we have right now. Hope they can stay healthy. And just believe we're going to have a great season. And hopefully, we can end it off with a championship so that those guys that weren't able to play this season can also get rings and be a part of it as well. We'll see what happens this season, but I just wanted to say that because I know the morale right now is very low with a lot of Ravens fans due to all the injuries. With that being said, let's get into this preview. So, first game of the season. Got the Ravens taking on the Raiders. Monday Night Football, prime time in Las Vegas. This is going to be exciting. Man, the Ravens are going to have a fun time in Vegas. They're going to go out, play some slots, play some cards, maybe hit up some clubs. And then they're going to go out and they're going to beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football. But let's take it slow for a second. Let's actually speak on it. We all believe, as a unit, we're going to beat the Raiders. But how are we going to do so? Well, let's take it step by step. Let's start with our defense. What do we need to do on Monday night in order to ensure ourselves a victory? First of all, let's start with the main focus in this game, our front seven. That run defense needs to be on point. We weren't great in stopping the run last year, but we weren't the worst. This year, we hope to improve on that a little bit more. But most importantly, we're looking to improve on our pass rush because we are trying to get to the quarterback. Number one thing you want to do in this game when you're going up against the Raiders is stop the run. Josh Jacobs is a beast, and they're going to be looking to run the ball. One of the main focus for the Raiders in this game is going to be establishing the run. Because if they can establish the run, they can continue to move the chains and kill the clock, dominate time of possession, and take the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands. The Raiders are looking to overall take control of the clock because if they can keep Lamar on the sideline, they have a great chance to win. So they're going to be looking to run the rock, and they have the guy to do it because Josh Jacobs is a beast. Our objective needs to be to stop that guy. That's the main focus. We need to stop the run and force them to pass, because if you allow them to get comfortable and they continue to run the ball, they're going to dominate the time of possession. And it's going to limit the amount of possession our offense can have. So we need to slow them down. That is the number one thing we have to do. Next up, that pass rush. Once you slow down the run, you need to get to Derek Carr. We got to pressure him. We got to get to him. We got to sack him. And I'm very interested to see how that's going to happen for the most part. You know, one guy I know who's going to be looking to come out right off the bat and make some noise is Patrick Queen, and I expect him to be active throughout this game. In fact, I got two players I expect to be active throughout this game: Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott. I believe both these guys are going to be breakout stars this year, so I expect them to come out and immediately make an impact. Patrick Queen's going to be flying around throughout the entire game, and I expect him to get a sack in this game. He's going to be going after Derek Carr. One surprise, though, that I'm hoping will be able to show up is our rookie Odafe Oweh. Everybody has been talking about this guy and what he brings to the table. Justin Houston cannot give any more praise than what he gave when he said Odafe Oweh is like a Madden created character, which you look at him, he really is. So I expect Odafe Oweh to come out here and get some snaps. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get. I don't believe he's going to be the starter, but I expect him to get a good amount of snaps. Now, what he does with those snaps, we'll see. I'm hopeful he can make an impact and really pressure Derek Carr, but we'll see. It's going to be his first game. Let's not put a lot of expectations on him. I expect him to get a good amount of snaps, but I don't know what he's going to do with it. So he could be a surprise player in this game. Let's see if we can really pressure the quarterback, because if we can get to Derek Carr, we're going to put ourselves in a great position. So number one, stop the run. Number two, pressure Derek Carr and force him to make mistakes. That goes into number three. We got to force turnovers. And that is going to depend on how our secondary can play in this game. Obviously, we lost Marcus Peters, but someone's going to need to step up. And obviously, that player that's going to have to step up is Anthony Averett. Averett's going to have to take over that spot for Marcus Peters, and right off the bat, he is going to have to make an impact. Wink Martindale has had a lot of praise for this guy, so I'm hopeful he will be able to put it together. All of us see the skill. We see the skill. We see the ability. He has the ability to make the plays. He just hasn't made the plays. That's the only difference. If Anthony Averett can make the plays, he's going to be a really good player. So we need him to come out here and make the plays. Obviously, Marlon Humphrey is still going to be Marlon Humphrey. Tavon Young, fresh back. What am I talking about? Tavon Young, fresh. He's ready to go. He's back after being out last year. I expect him to make an impact as well. Now, this isn't going to be easy for a secondary because the Raiders definitely do have some weapons. They've got some weapons in Ruggs. They've got some weapons in Waller, who we know well because he used to be on our practice squad. You know how that went. But I'm glad for him. I'm glad he's killing it over there. I'm glad the Raiders got a great tight end. Good for him. I'm glad he's doing his thing. He's a monster, and he's got to be dealt with. So this secondary has to be prepared for the weapons that the Raiders have, because when we stop the run, Derek Carr is going to be looking to hit those guys. And if our secondary can hold up and force him to make mistakes and force turnovers, we will be able to dominate and control this game. So to recap for the defense: number one, stop the run. Number two, pressure Derek Carr and force him to make mistakes. Number three, secondary has to hold up, cover these guys. Do not give up a big play to Darren Waller or Ruggs. Do not. That is our main focus. If our defense can do that, they're going to put our offense in a great position to be able to score and win this game. Speaking of the offense, let's move to that. So, what is the offense going to do in this game? More importantly, what do they need to do in order to win this game? Number one, it's going to start with Lamar Jackson. Normally, I come into this and I'm thinking, well, we got to start off by having a great run game. But in a situation like this, I do not know how the run game is going to be. If we had JK and we had Gus, I would be saying, number one, establish the run with them, let them take off and do their thing. But that is not the case. Best of luck to both of them. Hopefully recovery goes well for both of them. Our prayers are with them. But they're not here, and we don't exactly know how the run game is going to look. Obviously, this past week, we signed several guys. We got Latavius Murray, we got Le'Veon Bell, we got Devontae Freeman, and obviously you got Cannon as well. And then, of course, our guy, Tyson Williams, that's also here. I don't know how it's going to look. In my opinion, I don't think Le'Veon Bell is going to be elevated to the 53-man roster. I do not think he's going to play. Monday night. I just don't think so. They said he's in shape, but he's not in football shape. So it's going to take time for him to get ready. Devonta Freeman is in football shape, but he's not in complete shape, or at least he's not ready enough at this point, because it's not like he went through the entire preseason. One man who did go through the entire preseason and training camp, Latavius Murray. He's ready to go right off the bat. Same thing with Tyson Williams. So I think when it comes to the run game, it's going to be those two. It's going to be probably shared snaps and shared carries with those two in terms of the run game. Murray's our power back. He's going to be the guy doing it. Tyson, you know what he's going to bring to the table. And it's going to be those two alternating in terms of the run game. Now, I believe we're going to establish the run game. It's not going to be the run game we're used to seeing, or at least what we expected to see, because these aren't the guys we expected to be there doing the thing. But, however, I think it should be good enough. But that's not the main focus in terms of what the Ravens offense needs to do. The number one thing we need to do, we have to establish this passing game. I have no clue how this passing game is going to look on Monday night. We have no clue what work Tee Martin and Keith Williams have done. We don't know. It's going to be a surprise to us. But one thing we got to do is set the tone in terms of the pass game. We need to see a difference from previous years when it comes to this pass game. And this is the perfect opportunity. Prime time, Monday Night Football, on the road, the world's going to be watching. Set the tone for what this offense is going to be. We talked about evolving it. Let's see what work they've done. And I'm going to speak on this too. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Greg Roman throughout the season. But when it comes to our receivers in the passing game, I'm going to be looking more towards Tee Martin and Keith Williams. Those are the names I'm going to be bringing up a lot throughout the season, whether it's praise or criticism, because those are the guys I trust when it comes to the passing game, not Greg Roman. So those are the guys I'm looking towards when it comes to this pass game. And I think this is the perfect opportunity, because when you look at the Raiders, the run defense wasn't special last year. It wasn't great. It was solid. It's similar to ours, because both teams didn't do a great job in stopping the run last year, but they did well enough. It was a solid unit, solid run defense. The same thing is going to probably be here in this game. However, I believe it's going to be a little bit better for the Raiders, the same way it is for us, because both teams have made improvement on their front seven. So I expect the Raiders to be able to handle the run game a little bit better. One thing I don't expect them to handle well is that secondary. The weakness for the Raiders has always been the secondary. Now, of course, they've made improvements there as well, and they're hoping their guys can work out, because if it does, the Raiders will have a real good chance to compete and potentially make the playoffs this year. That is still the weakness, though. We'll see if it pans out for them, but that is still their weakness. We have to attack their secondary. We got to attack their secondary. So the passing game has to be an emphasis here. And most importantly, besides even attacking their weaknesses, we really need to see what this new offense is going to look like. It's not like it's going to be a completely different offense than what we've had before. At least I don't believe it is. We'll see. But it's going to be about the same for the most part. We're probably going to still see a lot of RPOs and Lamar running a lot of plays from the pistol. I don't know, but we're going to see some new things. And in the preseason, we got a little bit of how do I say about this? We got a little taste of that, because Lamar, for the most part, wasn't running everything from the pistol. He wasn't running RPOs. I think he ran maybe 2 plays, 2 RPOs in that situation, but I'm not exactly sure. Because when I went back and looked, it was multiple things. Empty set for Lamar Jackson, or he's in the shotgun, or he's under center. They switched it around. They're doing other things than just the same RPO, having Lamar in the pistol. He chooses to either hand it off or he takes himself on a design run. That's not what they're looking to do. They've definitely made changes, and we got to see that. But most importantly, I want to see how much Lamar Jackson has improved, and this is an opportunity. Take advantage of the secondary. Obviously, it's improved, but that may still be the weakness there. We have to see how those guys pan out, and I'm sure lots of Raider fans are hoping those guys can pan out. But that is the weakness of the team. That was the weakness of the team last year. It may still be the weakness of the team this year. So you have to take advantage of that secondary. We got to see what these receivers are going to do for us. Obviously, Boykin and Bateman aren't going to be here. They're not going to be here till week 4. Let's see what these guys can do. I need to see what Hollywood's going to look like. I need to see what Sammy Watkins is going to look like. I'm interested to see how James Prochet is going to play in this, because he had a great preseason and training camp. I want to see how he's going to perform here. We'll see what happens with that. Same thing with Devin Duvernay. He may get a look, but I'm looking to see those guys. In terms of our receivers, the guys I expect to show up will definitely be our main three: Sammy Watkins, Hollywood Brown, and Mark Andrews. But I want to see how the receiving room is going to do as a whole. And I think this is a great opportunity to do that. So we have to establish the pass game. Most importantly, we have to establish how this new look offense is going to play. Running game is going to be a bit iffy, but as long as you have number 8 under center, the running backs will have an opportunity to be able to run the ball efficiently, because Lamar, the danger of his legs just open up holes for other running backs to take advantage of. So they're going to be able to eat. However, I don't think we need to establish the run nearly as much as we would have had it been our regular guys, because I don't know how this room is going to look. I don't know who's exactly going to play. I don't know how that whole set's going to look. So I'm more focused on the pass game because our guys are still there, and this is a big emphasis for the season. If this pass game has improved and we become more balanced, this team can really do something special this year. So I need to see what this passing game is looking like. You're probably not going to hear me say this often, but like I said, establish the pass game. Usually I'm always like, let's establish the run game. This year, to start off the season, you've got an opportunity right here. With all the injuries to the running back room, it's time to establish the pass game. Let's see what our receivers got. Let's see how much Lamar Jackson's improved. Most importantly, let's see the work that T. Martin and Keith Williams has done with this unit and with this offense as a whole. So we got to establish the pass game, attack their secondary, get our receivers downfield, take complete control of the perimeter and utilize it. We got to attack the perimeter, man. That's not something we've done often. We got to do it in this game. Attack the perimeter. These receivers got to be on point. Lamar Jackson has to be on point. And we've got to get some plays down the field. Let's see if we can establish a pass game here. That's what I'm hoping. That has to happen here, because that is the weakness of the Raiders defense. If we can take advantage of that, we'll be in a good situation. The run game will just be the run game, because again, they just got here. It's going to take them a while to adjust to the play. So saying we got to establish the run game when they don't even know the playbook is going to be tough. As the season goes on, I'll definitely be pointing more towards establishing the run game. But because these guys don't know our playbook yet, they don't know what we like to run, and they don't know what we're planning to run. So that run game is just going to have to work on the fly. That's why I don't feel like we really need to establish it, because it's more so it's going to be on the fly. You just got to do what you can do with that unit until they get caught up to the playbook. What you do know is your pass game. So establish that. Let's see what they can do, because the pass game has to be a big emphasis this season. So, to recap, for the offense, what you need to do is establish the pass game. The running game is just going to be the running game. You'll see what you're able to do with Latavius Murray and Williams. We'll just see what happens with that. I don't think Le'Veon is going to play. Between Cannon and Freeman, I don't know who's going to get that third back spot. It's all confusing. We'll find out Monday night. But in terms of the run game, it's just going to be a work in progress. They're going to have to do it on the fly until these guys catch up to the playbook. So we'll see what happens with the run game. But the number one thing we got to do is establish a pass game. Let's see what T. Martin and Keith Williams have been working on all offseason and throughout the preseason, throughout training camp. It's time to see what they have done with this pass game. And it's time to see how Lamar looks and how much he's improved from last season. So yeah, to recap the game, offense, establish the pass game, and to take advantage of the weaknesses in the secondary for the Raiders. Defense, stop the run, pressure Derek Carr, don't give up big plays. If we're able to do all of this, we should be able to walk out of Las Vegas with a W. And because of all these factors and what we have on this team, I believe we will be able to pull this off, and I expect us to get the W. If I was to give a score prediction, I think the Ravens can win this game 28-17. I think Lamar is going to have a real good game here. It's good. You know, he's always done well to start the season. Fun fact, But yeah, fun fact, of all of his starts, when it comes to the first start, for both his MVP season and last year, he hasn't thrown a pick, and he has a perfect quarterback rating or a perfect passer rating in those games. Of the 2 games he's played, both of them, he hasn't thrown a pick, perfect passer rating. So to start off the season, Lamar Jackson has been great, and I expect him to be great as well, because his preparation is always there. The preparation of him and the Ravens is always there. We always do well on week 1. So I expect that to happen once again. I expect Lamar to have a really great game. I expect Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, and Sammy Watkins to be a big factor. I'm hoping to see something from Devin Duvernay and James Prochet, maybe Tyler Wallace if he can get a couple snaps. But overall, I expect to see a lot from this past game. I expect to see the work that T. Martin and Keith Williams have been doing with his receivers and how they've changed up the pass game. And I'm hopeful that we'll get to see something from Williams, because I'm looking more so Williams because he at least knows what we're trying to do. Whatever you get from Latavius Murray is going to be extra, but Williams, I'm interested to see what he's going to do. In terms of the defense, I think they're going to make a stop. I really like our front seven this year. Of course, in terms of the pass rush, we'll see how that works out. But run defense, I expect it to be much better than it was last year. Pass rush, we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited to see how Odafe always going to play. Hopefully, he can make an impact. I'm really excited to see both Patrick Queen and DeShon Elliott. I think they're going to come out and they're going to set the tone, man. They're going to set the tone, and they're going to look great. So overall, I believe we're going to be able to stop the run. I believe our secondary is not going to give up a lot of big plays. DeShon Elliott, Patrick Queen's going to do their thing. Maybe Odafe always going to show us something. Offensively, I expect Lamar to be great. I expect Hollywood to show up. I expect Sammy Watkins to give us something. Mark Andrews to show up. And we'll see what happens with the rest of the receivers. And the run game, we'll see what happens with Williams and Latavius Murray and maybe Freeman if he plays. Who knows who that third back's going to be. But yeah, I expect us to win that game 28-17. After that, it's week 2, and we already know what's on week 2. And we are going to talk about that until the game has been settled with the Raiders. With that being said, we're back, man. We're really back. I got nothing else to say. I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to see how we're going to look. I can't wait to see how the team is going to perform on prime time to start off the season. It should be fun. I'm glad to see my Ravens playing football again, and we'll just see what happens from there. With that being said, man, it's nearly game time. I will see the Ravens Monday night against the Raiders. That's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace. Go Ravens!